I didn't change my shirt is because I'm a bunny rescuer, and I knew that I would be picking up, you know how many bunnies I look after?
How many?
100. And Mike has known me for a long time, haven't you? And I've never looked after less than 100. Sometimes it's gone up above that. And the reason why there are so many bunnies that need to be rescued, can you guys guess why that might be?
Because they might be.
Well, let's put it this way. How many of you guys have ever gone to one of those parties where they build sundaes and you build yourself a really big ice cream sundae and then you can't eat it all? But why would you put it on your plate if you were just going to waste it? It was because you really thought with all your heart that you were going to eat it, and you wanted to eat it. But the reality of that was just different, wasn't it? When you started to eat it, and it got melty and messy, So, bunnies, pets are kind of the same way. Before your parents chose to have you, they thought long and hard about how they were going to take care of you. And they take care of you every day. And guess what? When you're sick and grumpy, do your parents love you less? No, they actually love you more. And so here's Miss Liberty, and she's what we call a domestic bunny. And we're going to take her out. Maybe we have an adult bunny owner who can hold Miss Liberty for me. Come on, Ellie. And so Miss Liberty had to come to our bunny rescue because she was sick. Yeah. Because the people didn't change her water, and she got an infection. And she might have died. So we had to take her to the doctor. How many of you guys know that animals have doctors? Do you know what they're called? They're called veterinarians, right? And so just like you guys go to a veterinarian, your dog and your cat and your rabbit and your pig and your porcupine and your alpaca and whatever you have needs to have a doctor too. And I'll bet you never think about that when you're looking in the pet store window at how cute it is because you all want one, right? Well, that's what we're here today to learn, is that we need to think about that. Now, the other thing we're here to learn is that there's a difference between wild animals and domestic animals. So can you guess which one this is? Is this wild or domestic? Domestic. And what does that mean about domestic? Where do we keep it? Does anybody know what your domicile is? Raise your hand if you know what a domicile is. It's a big fancy word, exactly. That means your home. And these guys live inside your house, and they use a litter box, and we fix them so they can't have more babies, just like cats and dogs.
Hey kiddos, why don't we all sit down? Let's all sit down back here. You're so excited. How about everybody sit down? The grown-ups can stand up behind, and then we can all see and hear Miss Linda a little bit better.
Okay? Close. Okay, after I'm done, but we're going to learn first and touch later. Okay, because these are very breakable. So the most common way that people break a bunny is they don't know how to hold it, and it kicks and it breaks its own back. And for the wild ones, we are never, ever, ever supposed to have these as pets. And in fact, these don't belong to me. These belong to the state of California. And we work with licensed wildlife rehabilitators that are actually people who work with state fish and game guys. You know, the guys with badges and guns, because they take their wildlife seriously. Now, why would the wildlife people of California not want you to take this into your domicile, your house? Can you guess why?
Because they might have rabies and they might bite.
Well, no, because bunnies can't pass anything to human kids, and they might bite, but this might bite too, and we have this in our house.
Because it might run around and it could run free and it could die.
Because basically these guys have a part of their brain called the amygdala. You know how when you're...
Oh, we all know the amygdala. See that?
Do you see how people do things like they go, and when you guys see cute things, you go, and you jump up and down?
You know, Miss Linda, our kids at Madison are a part of a program called Mind Up, and they've learned all about what the amygdala does, and I bet they can tell you.
Right, so the amygdala is the fight or flight part of your brain, right? Hold on. So these bunnies have a bigger amygdala than this bunny. And these bunnies, we joke about them, we say they're made out of springs. And when you try to keep these in captivity, do you know why I have a paper bag in my hand?
You have to put
Because a paper bag has soft walls, and there's pain in here. I want you all to be really quiet because we can scare this guy. Tell your parents to be quiet too. This is fully grown. This is all you get. This is a California native cottontail. That one's not. You want to hold that one down a little bit? See how tiny it is? So this one still needs milk. This one's eating on its own. Okay? So these are wild, but here's the problem. If we keep these in anything with hard sides, they bounce off the walls. And do you remember what I said the most common injury for a rabbit is and how they die when we have them at home? They break their spines, right? These guys break their backs and they are little heads. You know why we wear helmets when we ride bikes? They bounce off the walls of their cages because their amygdala is so big, they're always afraid of you and want to run from you. And they kill themselves in captivity. Well, that just doesn't sound like a very fun pet at all, does it? See, so when we say that we don't keep wild bunnies as pets and we don't take them into our house, it's not because we want to keep you guys from having fun. It's because we do want you to have a good experience. So the way we have a good experience with a bunny in our house is we get ourselves one of these. Now, here's a problem. You know, remember that sundae we were talking about? When you think that you want that whole big dish of ice cream with the sprinkles and the fudge and the 6 different flavors and the whipped cream, and then you figure out that it's milty and you can't eat it? People get these home, and a lot of times they come sick when you buy them from the breeder, and they don't know about the veterinarian, and they can't afford the veterinarian. You know how much a rabbit vet costs? It costs $110 for the first visit just to visit the dog. That's not counting the medicine or the x-rays or anything for one of these. So you guys have no business saying you want a bunny until you have a lot more than $110 in your pockets. That's all I'm saying, okay? So that's why we have insurance for kids, because when we take you to the doctor, guess who pays that? It costs more for this guy to see the vet than it does for you to see the doctor. Imagine that. So these guys, though, make really nice pets. And when we keep them healthy, they use a litter box and they live in our house. So can you guys guess how old Miss Liberty is? Okay, when she comes to meet you, sit very still. She's naturally curious. And let her hop around a little bit. I'm going to move this cage. Miss Liberty is about 7 years old. And she's going to get to be about 12 years old. And she wants to be taken care of for her whole entire life, just like you do. And what she doesn't want to do is live outside or be dumped in a park. So do you know what people tell me, the wildlife rescuer and the bunny rescuer? They say, Miss Linda, there's wild bunnies in the park. And you know what I say to them? I say, what do they look like? And they say, it's kind of big, it's white. And you know what I say to them?
Not wild.
That's not wild, because we saw it. Does this look anything like this?
No.
No. So here's the other thing. They say, Miss Linda, my cat caught somebody's bunny and they brought it inside to me. Does this maybe look a little bit like a cat toy to you?
Yes.
My cats would love to eat this.